Good evening, everyone. Good morning, depending on where you're watching in the world. Thanks for coming along to another episode of This Is Your Reselling Life. Tonight, we have Louise all the way from Birmingham in the UK joining us to talk a little bit about her reselling journey. So we'll bring her up on the screen and start chatting about her reselling life. Hey, Louise, how are you?
Good morning. I'm okay. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for joining us. I hear it's a bit chilly over there this morning, so thanks for braving the cold. And you've already done gym, so that's quite impressive.
Yeah, gym's done. I'm just kind of ready to do some work this morning. So
beautiful. So thanks for joining us tonight. I guess we're all here to learn a little bit about your reselling journey. So I've heard a bit of your story through a few other lives, but do you want to sort of tell everyone how you got into reselling and where it all started for you?
Oh God, it's probably about just over a year ago now that I started looking at selling on eBay. Started reselling as such, like properly, in January. So it's nearly been a year in that aspect. But it was when I was teaching. I did it in August, but when I started teaching again in September, Saturdays were the only days that off, and times I got to spend with my dad and things like that. So we like to go out to charity shops and have a look around. And he said to me, "You can sell this on eBay." And I was like, "That sounds like a good idea." So I started selling my own clothes and all my own sort of bits and bobs and friends and family and all that sort of stuff, like as everyone kind of starts out. And then started going, you know what, this is making me some decent money. Quit my job, and then did that full time. Just went for it.
And here we are today.
Yeah.
Before we talk a little bit more about it, we'll just say good day to everyone in the chat. Thanks for coming along. Epic Card Trader Collector was first in. Thanks for coming. OnQ Buckaroo, Eric, Cooking the Haydens, Chris, thanks for coming along. Thrifty Pixie Cara, KLC Reselling. I'm not sure if you know that person. Game On Couple. Yeah. Fairy of Sarcasm, Zach from We Flipping, good stuff. Jazz, lovely partner. The chat just skipped, so I'm sorry, I just missed a heap of people. Who else we got? Alexis, Shazad, Jody. Look, Mom, I'm hustling. Andrew, don't know if you know that guy either. He sort of gets around a little bit. Tommy, who else we got? Ads is in as well. Thanks for coming along. Liz for Queensland, Tat Doctor, Game On Couple, Adelaide Crow's the best, and BCP. So thanks, guys. Sorry if I missed anyone. The chat's sort of jumping all over the place. So thanks for coming along to learn a bit more about Louise. So you sort of discussed a little bit about you starting in January, but I guess there's a little bit more behind that, in that, you were teaching and you're sort of struggling with that a little bit. Was reselling your first option, or was there other things that you're looking at? Or was it just you needed to get out of the teaching space?
I think the thing with reselling, like I've done several jobs before. I've worked in supermarkets, been a waitress, done all the little sort of jobs like that. And I just realised I just don't like working for somebody, because when I was teaching, I put so much effort in. I used to get there at 6 o'clock in the morning, leave about 5 o'clock in the evening, and then work again, carry on working, lesson planning and marking and stuff in the evening. And I was putting full force into it, yet I didn't get anything back from it. Yes, I got paid, but so did everyone else. So did that person next to me who comes in at 8 o'clock, goes home at 3 o'clock, and then does nothing all evening. Do you know what I mean? So, and I felt like I needed to put my efforts into something that would give me the rewards of the efforts that I put in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So working for someone is just so restrictive. That's how I felt anyway. So reselling itself wasn't it wasn't a group of options. It just kind of happened, to be honest. It just kind of, I just enjoyed it. I like buying clothes, and I thought, I can't buy any more clothes. I need to start selling them. So that's what I need to do.
I think that's how we all start. We're like, oh, I've got so much stuff, I could probably get rid of some of that. So it's a great little hobby that can turn into a pretty serious business. So it sounds like it opened a few doors for you, because from what I've heard you saying, like the school wasn't really providing you any benefits, like in terms of for yourself. You were just putting in a lot of effort. So Yeah, I think you've made a pretty good decision by the sounds of it. Jazz is saying, I hear Louise makes so much sense. Had a few more people drop in as well. Diary of a Flipper and Tat Doctor. Reselling makes my wardrobe bigger. That's true.
Definitely.
So since you stopped working for somebody else and started working for yourself, has that sort of changed your view on life and sort of opened a few more doors for you and just given you a better headspace at all?
It's the headspace wise, definitely. A lot of people who are in the chat now watched Ad's live stream that happened a couple of 2 weeks ago, was it now? And we were talking about mental health, and mental health was a big thing for me, a big issue for me, as it were, when I was teaching. That kind of really got to me. And as soon as I quit teaching and started reselling, I just felt like everything just disappeared. Obviously it didn't just completely do that, it doesn't work like that, but it just it felt like it just did that. It just took that massive relief off me. It's been hard in other ways, it's been physically hard, mentally hard, and just completely draining when you think as much as effort I put in, the most I'm going to get back. So you're trying to put all that effort in. So it's draining, but it's a lot more rewarding. I've kind of already said that, haven't I? But that's kind of how it's gone. But as I say, it's hard, but it's good. It's fun.
And so I guess stepping into that space of employing yourself brings its own problems. Like you said, is you got to start pulling money out of it. You got to start sort of really focusing in on what you're buying and stuff. So how have you found that transition? Have you been able to pull out what you need out of it so far? Has it been sort of working well for you? Or
I've been quite lucky because I wouldn't have done what I did because I live with my dad at the moment. So I don't need to pay bills and rent, and I don't need that money. So whatever money I make is mine. So he's let me sort of live with him. So I did live on my own, and then all sorts of stuff happened, and then so I moved back in with my dad, and he's let me live there sort of rent free while I try and get back on my feet. But almost every bit of money that I make, I can put back in. So it's been okay in that aspect, but I'm currently looking at moving. We've actually got a viewing for somewhere tomorrow, so I'm looking at moving. So the thought of moving is kind of freaking me out a bit, because obviously I've got to make sure I find that money to pay the rent and all that sort of stuff. So,
and moving as a reseller is very tough. I can tell you.
Thankfully, this garage I can keep everything in here for the time being.
Yeah.
So because everything in this garage is everything. It's like my photography, my storage, everything. So whilst I move my own personal stuff, this can then go eventually. So it's all right in that aspect. But yeah, I feel sorry for anyone who has to move all that stuff, because this is just one side. I've got another side on this side as well. It's just
I've seen your storage system on on a few of your videos, and it looks like you got a bit of gear there. How many active items do you have at the moment?
420 or something like that.
Yeah, and mostly clothing, yeah?
All clothing. Yeah. I've taken everything off that's not clothing anymore. Can't be dealing with it.
And from what I've seen, mostly women's clothing, yeah? And you sort of specialise in women's stuff?
Yeah, mostly. I mean, this side here is women's. So as you can see, all my boxes are pretty much full. This side over here is men's, and most of them are empty. I do pick up some shirts and jumpers and bits and bobs like that, but I know what I'm doing with dresses. And dresses itself is what I kind of tend to go towards more than tops and skirts and stuff, because if you just buy dresses, for example, it's so much easier to, I don't know what that was, it's so much easier to list them all because they're all the same item.
Yeah. So
it's easy to sort of do that. So I try and buy loads of stuff that are very similar. So
yeah. Someone doesn't want you to chat at me on the horn out the back. It's funny. So yeah, women's clothing, and you've recently put out a bit of an item specific guide for people on was it Etsy? Is it? How's that been going for you, and what was sort of the motivation behind that?
that was actually the reason why I started my YouTube channel. My intention to begin with was to do a video of all the different item specifics. So I'd say, this is what this dress looks like, this is what this dress looks like, and constantly sort of say that and sort of do a little video of it. And that's what my full intention was to begin with. I never got around to doing that. And then and I was fed up of seeing them little sheets that had like other styles of dresses on, and people kept sharing them, and I was like, but they don't show you what is on there for eBay. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it myself. So that's how I did it. It's gone really well, which the feedback that I've had for it is just brilliant. It's done really well in the process of doing the next lot. So
I was actually thinking of getting a copy because we picked up a bit of women's gear on the weekend. We usually don't touch women's because I have no idea. So I might pick up a copy myself shortly, I reckon.
Well, I picked it up on Friday when it was 50% off.
That's all right. I'm happy to support. Louise in the tube. So there's Louise's channel, KLC Reselling. We do have a question from Cookie and the Haydens. Chris, do you have a death pile, or do you manage it as list as you go?
I used to have a death pile. Yeah, I refuse to have a death pile. I've got, you can see some stuff in the back there. There's some stuff there and there's some stuff on the other side as well. I pick up my items. I've just been ridiculously working stupidly hard at the moment. I picked up all these items yesterday. I picked up about 30, 40 items yesterday. I drafted about 26 of them last night. I will photograph them today, add them photos to the listings, and then do that. And I refuse to have a death pile now. The only sort of death pile I have is when an item needs washing or fixing. So that kind of goes in a pile that needs to be looked at a little bit later on. So, but I refuse to have a death pile. I used to have it and it used to just take over my life. So yeah, I've just got rid of it.
That's awesome that you've been able to keep on top of it like that. Because it's very easy to get out of control. Which I'm sure
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just getting to the point where I was getting stuff in, and I just, because obviously the people that do this like to just buy things, especially when they start out. They like, I like buying that and finding that and going to the charity shops and buying all this sort of stuff, and then they don't like the listing part. So, and the people that do that, can you hear all that?
Just quietly. It's not bad. It's fine.
Okay. It's really loud for me. But yeah, so, and they just like doing the buying part of it. So, and I was like that to begin with. I think we all kind of are like that to begin with, because it's the rush of finding something new. But I get to the point where even if I pick something up after a while, you look at it and you go, I don't like that anymore. I just go, you know what, I have to. I can't. I have like an actual physical pile, and I can't just go, oh, that dress is nicer. I have to just do it in that order and stick myself to it. So, and that's how I got rid of my death pile and keep at it now. So
it's definitely good to get on top of it, because it's all money just sitting there, isn't it? It's like you've spent the money but you're not getting anything back on it. So we're definitely trying to work through ours at the moment. Jody's asking, sorry if I'm behind for not knowing, but what does KLC stand for, Louise?
That's a secret, that is. A few people have asked me this before, and I got them to guess for ages. I am also bringing out a video that Tracy has tagged me in to do, like a tell me about yourself. So I will mention it in there.
So head over to Louise's channel. Make sure you sub so that you can get onto that channel, and hit the little bell as well, because when it goes live, I'm sure plenty of people will be interested in that one. Hey, David has popped in as well. Thanks, David, for coming along. Just scanning the chat to see if we've got any more questions before we move on. Is her favorite comic character right? What?
It's something similar to that. That's kind of, it's in there somewhere, something like that.
Nice. Tommy's onto it. Sorry, the chat is jumping everywhere. I don't know what's going on with it, but I'll try and catch any questions. If I missed any questions, just drop them in again, please, guys, and we'll make sure we get to them. So I've got a bunch more questions, but if anyone else has any, please drop them in. So you said you started YouTube earlier this year, well, February this year, wasn't it? and you sort of wanted to do a bit about the dresses, and it sort of evolved into, you know, you going around to op shops. I saw you doing a bit of RA the other day as well. So what's your what's the goal now with YouTube? What are you sort of heading towards in that space?
That's a good question, really, because I don't really know as such. I've always wanted to keep my channel sort of professional, as it were, like keep it to be more. I think because of leaving teaching, I just kind of still want to do teaching.
Yeah.
But with YouTube, so that's kind of how I did this, because it still feels like I'm talking to people, you know. So I think it's still going to be an aspect of like teaching or like showing new things or something like that, even just showing how I can list quicker or photograph or something like that, just trying to keep it stable, you know, with sort of teaching wise, rather than just kind of wandering off and doing something else. I want to just keep it professional, as it were, even though I do a live stream every once in a while that's not so professional, but I like that part as well.
Yeah, I think those sorts of things is where people get to know who you are, like, because, you know, I saw one, must have been the last one, I think it was like a 4-hour one, and it's like over a 4-hour period there's going to be pieces of you come out that wouldn't come out on like a pre-recorded, so it definitely helps people sort of engage with you a bit more, I think. So yeah, I really like what you're doing with your channel, and I'm definitely going to try and keep an eye on more of it. It's so hard with so many YouTube channels now to keep up with everyone, but yeah,
definitely. It's hard to keep up doing it, because as I say, I'm trying to get in a really tight schedule of building up my listings. And I think it actually was Ian yesterday, I think he mentioned to me, he says, where have you been? I haven't seen you in a while. But it's just because I've been so hard at work doing this.
Yeah.
I've not had a chance to even do a YouTube video yet, so
yeah, it is hard to keep on top of everything. So yeah, it's definitely cool to see those sorts of things though. So yeah, hopefully there's some new ones coming out soon. The last one I watched, you talked a little bit about RA and Amazon. So I did have a question about Amazon and that. So in terms of your model, you sell on eBay and Amazon. Is most of it on eBay, or do you do quite a lot on Amazon as well, or how do you sort of balance it out?
I do none on Amazon now. I say none. I've got some stuff on there still, but I'm getting rid of it. I'm taking it all off after Christmas. Probably at the end of Jan, I think. Some people have said like January sales, as it were, or whatever. People want to go on there to buy some other bits and bobs that maybe they don't get for Christmas. So I'm probably going to sort of pack it in at the end of Jan. I started it in July, and it really run down my eBay to like a third of what I was making. So because I was putting all that into Amazon, and I'm still trying to build that back up at the moment, which is why I'm trying to work so hard doing it now to build it all back up. It really shot at me.
So Amazon wasn't working for you, obviously, if that's the case.
It does work for some people, but I just don't think either I didn't have my eBay business set up fully, or I just didn't know how to schedule my time, because my Amazon was just purely what I wanted to do. You know, at the time, I thought, oh, eBay's up now. I've got 250 items on. Just leave it alone. It's not enough. You know, you've got to keep at it. You've got to keep listing. You've got to keep doing it. But I didn't. So I just let Amazon take over. So it's just get rid of it.
Maybe in the future you'll come back to it when you sort of feel like you got eBay up and going.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I've got a ton of books down here. You can't even see them, but all these books here.
Oh yeah.
They were supposed to go to Amazon, and they just haven't gone because I just can't be bothered.
And it's kind of interesting because when you're on Tommy's live, you were at what was it, white label event, was it? And I'm presuming that was more Amazon related. So is that something you're not going to pursue in the future, or is that something that you're kind of like putting off for now? Or
it was more curiosity, because it was a free event. You could just go for free. Obviously, I had to pay for my hotel room and my train ticket. So, but it was more curiosity, because I just wanted to know what it was. And there's also a couple of talks there talking about selling on eBay, talking about Instagram or something. You know what? There was, I don't think I've got it with me, but there was a lady there. This is a totally random thing now, but there was a lady there, and she was selling courses on how to sell on eBay. Oh, I don't think I've got it with me. That's so annoying. But she said to me, because I pretended that I never sell on eBay. She's like, no, what's eBay? Because I just wanted to pick her brain. I don't have it with me. I wanted to pick her brain, and she said to me, she said that what she does is she offers advice and all that sort of stuff, and she'll get your eBay page started up, and she'll get you a shop, and she'll do the first 10 listings for you, because she knows all the keywords and stuff. So you take all your own photos, send them over to her, and she'll do your first 10 listings. And because I was saying that, I'm looking at doing secondhand clothing, she was like, that's how I started, but it's not a very good business model. And I was like, oh, okay.
Like closed and not good.
I was just like, okay. So and she was saying, like, because if you sell something that's brand new and you've got 10 of the same item, then obviously you just do one listing and you can say you've got 10 of the same item, which is fair enough. But she was saying, because it might take about half an hour to list one item. I'm like, if it's taking you half an hour to list one item, you need to speed up.
Yeah, what are you doing?
It takes me about half an hour to do about 10 items. Do you know what I mean? Because of the process that I've got. Yeah. And I was just like, but yeah, she was selling this thing, and then there was like support for a few months or something for £295.
Wow. Maybe you should have dropped your item specifics on her and see what she said. She would have been a bit flabbergasted, I think.
Yeah, should have shown her my YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, definitely. David's heading off. Thanks for dropping past. David's good to see you. I'll try and get some questions because I know I've missed some here. If people have dropped a question in, just re-ask it because it's jumping all over the place again. So white label, I'm presuming, is the same as like private label in terms of, you're creating a product to resell. Is that sort of what you were? Sort
of. It's more of you're buying a product, and I realised I didn't answer your question, did I? You're buying a product, and then you put your own label on it. So for example, this bottle of washing up liquid, don't ask me why I've got washing up liquid in here, but washing up liquid, it'd be a completely blank bottle, and it's up to you then to put your label on it, and you sell it as your own product.
Yep.
So that's more what it is. So rather than private label is kind of that same sort of thing, isn't it? But it's just it is. Yeah. So you're buying your product from someone. So it could be alcohol, it could be food and drink, it could be beauty products, whatever it might be. And then you put your own label on and sell that as your own. So my brand is Fairy. This is my thing. Someone else's brand that could have been, I don't know, ketchup. I don't know. Could have put their label on it and said that this is my washing up liquid, and they'll be competitors. It's the same item. So
yeah, I always wash my dishes with ketchup. So yeah, it's a good one.
Good.
That's awesome. Louise, surely if you need clothing advice with your business, you could contact Money Mental.
Definitely not.
Tommy has a question. Louise, who is your favorite person to watch on YouTube asking for a friend?
Well, I'd love to watch you, Tommy, but you're going to go on at stupid o'clock in the morning for me or in the evening. So I'd like to watch it, but, and I ain't watching a 5-hour stream back. So sorry.
There's some good questions coming through. Louise, where do you see your reselling journey taking you?
That is a good question. My hair's blowing up from this heat. I'm hoping that I can have it completely full, because it's full time now. But like I said, because I live with my dad, I've never needed the pressure of earning that money. It's been nice to have it, but I've never needed to go, I need to find this much money straight away. So I'm hoping it will get to the point where I can do it full time, completely full time, and it's earning me a really good full time sort of wage, and just have it, because at some point obviously I'm looking at moving, and then hopefully within the next few years I might start having a family, all that sort of stuff. So having that reselling is quite good, because I know a lot of people who start reselling when they've just had a baby or something like that, you know, because you're at home and all that sort of stuff. So I'm almost like really forward thinking, you know, when I have a child in like 100 years time, I'm ready, you know. So
and does you've got a partner at the moment, right? That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
And does he get involved in reselling with you at all, or is it kind of just your thing and he goes along with it?
Yeah, it's my thing. He does help if I need him to help, or if I've asked him. I mean, he's decided that he's going to be my alterations guy. I bought a dress that had a faulty zip. It was advertised as a faulty zip, and he said, "I'm going to buy that, and I'll fix it. And then if I fix it, you can pay me back for it." And he'd managed to fix his faulty zip, and he's sewn up my pockets on things that have had faults in them. And I'm like, cool. That's how much inputs. But he does go around charity shops with me and stuff like that, and go to the men's section and find some stuff for me and whatever. But because he's working all the time, he doesn't really get stuck in with me as much. So yeah,
that's cool that he sort of helps out. Sounds like he's a bit of a handyman, which is nice.
He loves everything. He does like he did plumbing at college, and then this weekend he was helping his dad fix some lights in the seat, you know, some doing electrics with his lights and all that sort of stuff. So he just gets stuck into anything he does. So yeah, it's all good.
This sort of ties in with that as well. Lainey's asking, what are the plans for the future? So you've sort of just talked about your own business. What about life? Obviously, you're looking at getting a new place and moving in there. And kids in the future, is there anything else outside of that you sort of have goals to work towards? So, like, do you want to study something else or reselling in the future?
Mansion. Gonna get a mansion. With life-wise, because there's nothing much about business that I can sort of say, because I've kind of said what I need to say with that. Life-wise, as I'm hoping I can move out. I mean, hopefully before Christmas, so that'd be quite nice. But as I say, we've got a viewing tomorrow somewhere, so hopefully we'll be able to do that. And then get married, have kids. That's it. I don't know what else. There's not much else. It's kind of like if I could, you know, get a mortgage and stuff. I'm on the like the savings thing to be able to get a mortgage itself as well. So hopefully at some point it'll all just start to
fall into place. Well, I hope it does for you, because it sounds like you've got your head in the right space. You're kind of working really hard to get there. So that's really cool. Kara's got a question. What is your favorite type of clothing to source?
Definitely dresses. I always go to the dresses section straight away. I have a look around tops and skirts and stuff, but I almost don't know what I'm looking for with them. I don't know. I think that for me, a top is a top, a skirt is a skirt, a dress is a whole outfit. Do you know what I mean? Like once you've bought, if you're going for an event, you don't need to find a top that matches some bottoms or anything like that. A dress is a whole outfit. So I just like dresses more because I feel like I can ask a bit more money for them as well. I feel like with a top, I buy it for £2. I don't feel like I can sell it for 25. I just don't feel like a t-shirt worth 25 quid, you know? So dress is definitely for that.
That's cool. George Ross is in. Thanks for coming along, George. In relation to the dresses, what's your sort of standard process for measuring? Is there certain parts on the dress that you'd recommend for people to measure?
I always lay it out flat, and then I measure pit to pit, waist. If it's got sleeves, I'll measure this sort of from the sleeve seam to the cuff, and then also do the whole length of the dress as well. That's generally what I do. Some people do other bits and bobs as well, like shoulder width and all that sort of stuff. Generally, the questions I get asked is pit to pit, or like bust, and then waist, and then length as well. I've done a video ages ago. I used to have like, it's actually up there. It's like kind of little, I can't see it. There you go. The little thing up there. I've rolled it up now because I don't use it, but it's a massive measuring tape. And I used to have that against the back. So when I took my photos, you could see the length of them. So it saved me having to do that measurement, but it wasn't easy because obviously when it's on the mannequin, my mannequin's in front of it a little bit more, so it's not flat against it. It just doesn't show. It's not that great, so I just do it straight on a measuring tape now. So
Beautiful. We'll try and catch up with the chat a little bit in a sec. Louise, what was your most profitable sale so far?
Good question. I think it was early this year. I had a mother of the bride outfit, and I went into the charity shop. I bought the sort of the dress and the jacket, the bolero, and when I took it to the till, the woman said, "Oh, I've got the matching shoes, the matching hat, the matching fascinator, and a matching bag, you know, to make the whole outfit full. Do you want them?" So I bought all them, and I had it as one whole set, and had it up for about £200 and something, I think, because they're so expensive. And I think I paid probably in total about £30-40 for the whole lot. And somebody asked me if they can just buy the outfit separately, or no, just buy the accessories separately. So just the hat, the fascinator, and the shoes or something like that. So I said, yeah, sure. And I ended up charging her £120 for all that sort of stuff alone, and then made another sort of £50 or something on top of the rest of it. So yeah, so it's been quite well.
That's awesome. That's a nice little sale. I will have a follow-up question for that, but there's a pretty important question here. How do you get your hair so nice? I was going to ask because, you know, I can't really nail it. So if you want to give some hair advice, that'll be good.
I curl it. Yeah, it's because, you know, actually really important reselling question. My hair is naturally like this dark. It's almost black. And then I got sort of blonde bits put in, and then again and again, and then it asked it to go white, so it's gone white in parts. I asked for a balayage. I'm going to type that in the chat. Balayage. And that's kind of, so it's like not highlights and it's not an ombre, but it's like mix of both. So there you go, and then I curl it.
I'll keep that in mind for my next haircut. I think just to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to try and catch up with the chat because we're super behind at the moment. Sorry, guys. Tommy's asking if you can get new tag shelf pulls in your area, handbags and stuff like that.
Yeah, TK Maxx is quite a good one for it, because they do stuff really cheap there. I think it's TJ Maxx in the US, isn't it? And they do some stuff in there where they have like the yellow label, so it was really cheap. And that was actually my best sale most recently. I had a All Saints coat, bought it for £30 and just sold it for 110. So you can still get some good stuff like that, but I'm a bit wary with it because sometimes they don't go as quick. So I like that sort of the more quick flip.
Yeah, and more invested as well. How many items do you list a week, or how many hours do you put in a week? It's a good question.
It is a good question. Everyone's coming out with good questions today.
Yeah, I know.
Hours, I have no idea hours-wise. I mean, I get into the garage at about 9 o'clock, and then I work till about sort of 5-6 o'clock, Monday to Friday, sometimes on a Saturday as well. Although I do that all week, other than the odd day that I go out sourcing. So if I go sourcing, it'll still be like 9 till about 2-3 o'clock. Then I'll come back in here. Then I'll put it into my spreadsheet and start photographing as well. So I put in a lot. How many do I list? Probably about, recently it's probably been about 60 items a week. I've literally only been doing this sort of model, as it were, for about 2-3 weeks. So I'm just trying to get my head around that.
Yeah, definitely. Lainey's asking, how did your dad feel about leaving teaching and becoming a reseller?
Interesting. He's fully supportive, really, really supportive. He's not disappointed, but he's obviously a bit sort of saying, you know, you've got 2 degrees now and you're not using them, sort of thing, in that sort of aspect, you know. So he'd want me to do better, you know. If I can make this work, he'd be proud of me just as much as he would be if I was teaching. But he was fully supportive. He's fully aware of the situations and the reasons why I left and stuff as well. So yeah, he was just absolutely supportive, and he was the one that suggested it in the first place for me to sell on eBay. So it's his fault anyway.
So you can't get back on that now.
yeah, that's it.
Here's a good question from your mate Andrew. What keeps you going when sales are slow?
I just gotta keep going. Like when sales are slow, like recently, they've been really slow. So I've just gone, and it kind of gets me down because I've been putting a lot of effort in lately. But I've just got to realise that eventually it will all catch itself back up again. Chatting to people as well about it is great. I have several people that I chat to, and they're just so motivating. But especially sometimes, well, when you chat to some people and they go, "Yeah, my sales are good," and you're like, "Oh, why are mine so slow?" So obviously I talked to Andrew, he's great. I got a friend David, and he's just fantastic. He really motivates you. He's like, shut up, go back to work, do this. And it's really nice to have them people in your life that can just sort of like push you to do well and to do better. So if you've got friends who are like, yeah, don't worry about it, it will happen, it will work, get rid of them. Don't need them kind of people. You need people who are a bit more harsh with you. If you want to do well in your business, you need people who are a bit more harsh with you and say, get it done. Stop being lazy. Stop messing around. Focus. So
that's really good advice. Like having a listing buddy, we've recently teamed up with Cara and just like messaging each other each day and being like, how many are you getting through? Like, have you got any up? Like, what are you doing? So it just kind of gives you that commitment to it as well, because you have someone else that's asking you questions. So here's a good question. What have been the best things or moments about reselling, Louise?
Oh, I don't know. Just the freedom. Freedom. Even though I'm working, I literally do work. I was out yesterday, started sourcing at 9, got home about 6:30, ate my dinner, then started listing, and then was listing / watching I'm a Celebrity up until about midnight. So I was working all day yesterday. So I do work a lot with it, but it also gives me freedom. Like last Friday, I was out, not last Friday, Friday before, I was out watching Frozen and with my partner, and we just had lunch and had dinner. Do you know what I mean? So I can, if I want, I can just go, I've done enough this week, I'm going to go out, and it's just like that nice bit of freedom. Having
that freedom to choose when you want to be doing your business is something that I guess we're really looking forward to in the future. So I definitely think that's a great thing. You mentioned just before about you sort of when you're out thrifting, you sort of go 9 to 2:30. Do you hit that wall that all of us seem to hit at around that 5-hour mark, where you just, like, your eyes are starting to hurt when you're searching through the racks, you can no longer focus on what you're looking at? Do you hit that wall as well?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I find myself, what I do in the morning or the day before, I think what I'm trying to say, I have a look to see where I can go, but I look for about 2 or 3 towns that are local to each other. So I will, because you can't guarantee that it's going to be something at that place, So I will go to one place and I have a look there. So if I've done the 3 or 4 or 2, whatever it is that I've picked out, once I'm done there, I'm done. I'll try and have a quick look on my maps to see if there's any more local, but other than that, if I've only picked up 10 items, 5 items, I've spent my day doing it. So, try again tomorrow.
Yeah, I think having those routes is a great little idea, because that way you at least know where you need to go, and then you can kind of hit different ones each time you go out. How often do you go sourcing? Do you go once a week or twice a week, or sort of? I'm
trying to go twice a week. I'm trying to do Monday sourcing, Tuesday photographing / listing, and then Wednesday's a bit of a funny one because my partner finishes work at 2, so I kind of do a little bit of work in the morning, then I spend the rest of the day with him, and then go back out again Thursday, Friday listing, Friday photographing, Saturday listing. So trying to do it that way.
And do you sorry?
I was saying about two days a week. I've tried to go listing, sourcing.
And do you do a lot of car boots as well? I've seen in a couple of videos that you've been to them, but do you get there very often?
Not very often. I mean, at the moment, most of them are gone because it's so cold, and nobody wants to get up at 5 o'clock in this weather. I will try and go next year a lot more. I didn't used to go because I'd never found much clothing at them, but I went a few times after that and found some really good finds. So I think I will go a lot more next year. Now I've got in the swing of it all. So yeah, definitely.
That's cool. Andrew and serious questions don't go together. Let's ask you some good questions. Right? Here we go. Louise, what's the population of the city you're living in?
No idea. Zero idea. It's the second biggest city in the UK. So.
Wow.
There you go.
At least three.
Yeah, no idea.
And we spoke about before, your best sales, but have there been items that you regret buying, or are you sort of, on top of everything and you know what you want?
There's definitely items I regret buying. Obviously, I think everyone has it, you think it's a good find and then you go to list it and you go, oh, that's a bit crap, actually. There's other bits and bobs that I thought I might sort of delve into, some stuff that's not clothing. I just don't feel comfortable with that. I can't store it properly, I can't package it properly, because all of my stuff literally goes into them bags, literally goes into them, and then I can just pop the label on and just ship it straight out. Where with anything else that's not clothing, it's just effort. So anything that's not clothing, I kind of almost regret buying. I mean, I never regret anything, but because obviously it's a learning curve, isn't it? At some point, if you didn't buy it, if you didn't do it, if I didn't do Amazon, then I still be sat here thinking, I wonder if I should have done Amazon, So I never regret anything, because it's all, you've got to learn it. But yeah, I just don't want to buy anything other than clothing now.
Do you think? Go on.
I like to stick to my niche. I know some people like to sort of delve out and do something else, which is absolutely fine. I know what I'm doing with this, and I've kind of really got a
good handle on it.
Yeah, so I'm happy with the way it is at the moment.
Do you think when you do get a house and maybe a bit more space, you'll branch out a little bit, or you really think you're just going to hone in on that clothing and keep building that?
I'm probably still going to stick with the clothing. It's just, as I say, for me, it's storage. I'm not going to go and get a big house. So clothing, I mean, I think there's about 30 odd items in that box up here. And it's pretty full. It's almost ruined. And if I had 30 board games, that's filling that whole shelf there, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm happy with the clothing and I enjoy it. That's what I enjoy. If anytime I go off that, I stop enjoying it. So
yeah, at least you've sort of you've tried a few things out and you realise it's not going to work for you. So knowing what you're good at and can succeed at and be happy with, that's a good thing. Zach does a lot of curbside picking. So for people that throw out stuff onto their curb, he's asking, do any of the towns in the UK have curbside collections?
Not really. No, I don't think it's not really something that's that happens here. If anyone chucks something on the street, you know what it's like, because everyone takes the mick out of us here about all our rain. So if anyone puts anything out, we get wet the next day anyway. So it's good in that way. But yeah, so we don't really get that much here for that.
Jazz has asked, are you a collector of anything?
I don't think so. I don't think I do. To be honest, I like no, I don't think I am. I do like all my little pop figures and stuff like that, but that only happened because people started to buy me them, and now I've started to sort of collect the rest of them. But that's probably about it. Anything I used to collect pandas, anything that had panda on it, like a little panda teddy, and then people started buying me loads, and I've literally got hundreds. They're all in the shed, so I just don't buy me any more pandas.
Disclaimer: no more pandas for Louise. Thank you. So yeah, thanks for the great questions, guys. If you do have any more, please drop them in as well. I did have a few more questions for you along the way. So outside of reselling, what do you like to do? So you mentioned that you went to Frozen and stuff like that. I've seen you go camping in one of your videos as well. Is there stuff outside of reselling that you really enjoy doing as well?
yeah, camping is definitely something that I really enjoy. Again, obviously it's too cold at the moment to even. He's talking about going camping, and I was freezing in the summer because at night it just drops. So yeah, I couldn't do it now. But yeah, I really enjoy camping. It's really nice to get out, and you can get a pitch for £10. You know, it's great. You could just go to anywhere in the country and pitch up your tent that you've bought, and it's a tenner to stay there for the night. It's great. I do enjoy playing games. You know, I'm playing on a PlayStation and stuff like that. But again, I just don't have time. It's so crazy because I can make the time if I want to, but I'm sitting there playing, and in my head's going, I could be listing.
Yeah, you feel guilty, don't you?
Yeah, you do. So yeah, I do like to do other stuff like that, and I like to spend time with my partner and my family. That's my main thing, you know. I do just anything. I'm up for anything, you know. Rock climbing, escape rooms, whatever. Do you know what I mean? I'm up for absolutely anything, but just when I got time, that's all.
That's cool. What's the best camping place that you've been to? Like, if someone was to come to near your area, where would you recommend they go?
Everywhere's the same, really. The thing that I don't recommend is just anywhere that doesn't have a toilet. We went somewhere. The one that's actually in is it that one? Yeah, the one that's in my video that I did most recently when I was actually camping.
Yeah.
They had toilets, but they weren't usable. Like they were just like they didn't flush properly and stuff like that. So they stunk because there was a massive family that it's just horrible. So I'm being in the wild if everyone really wants to know that. And it's just it's fine. I'm happy with doing it, but in the middle of the night when you need to go,
not ideal.
You try to find a tree.
We had to build a makeshift toilet for a few of the girls when we went out camping once because there was no trees or anything. So we had to. Justin Cole says, will you be doing any more eBay item specific guides?
Yeah, definitely. I'm in the middle of doing tops and jumpers and all that sort of stuff at the moment. So I'm literally doing that as we speak. Obviously not right this second, but when I was on the train back from London the other day, I was drawing on the train and whatever. So I'm in the middle of getting all them done. It takes a while because there's a lot of item specifics. So they are coming.
So do you enjoy art? Obviously you're drawing a lot of that stuff. You love it? Yeah.
Yeah. When I was younger, if somebody asked me what I wanted to be an artist. I don't think I'm very good at it. I just enjoy it. It's probably why it takes me so long. If anyone who does it and is really good at drawing, it will take them 5 minutes. I'm really picky with it. I think that's my.
I have no artistic ability at all. If I was to do anything like you did, like the person wouldn't even be able to tell what the item was. So they have to get another guide to interpret the guide. So it'd be a bit awkward.
This is meant to be.
yeah. This is this type of dress. You might need to Google it to work out what it is. Game on Couple. What's your favorite game of all time? I'm presuming they're talking video games because they're big gamers. So
Kingdom Hearts. That's my absolute favorite video game. Definitely. I mean, you've got like The Sims. I love The Sims on my computer. I used to play that. I used to stay up literally all night, do all-nighters before school to play The Sims. I used to love that. But Kingdom Hearts is my favourite. So it's kind of like a mix between Final Fantasy and Disney. If anyone's never played it, it's great. I love it.
PlayStation girl then?
Yeah. I do like Nintendo, but I've kind of gone off it a little bit because they don't release enough games. So I've paid £200-300 for this console, and you're bringing out 10 games, So I stopped buying too many Nintendo stuff over time. So yeah.
Here's Andrew back to his witty self. You heard it here first. KLC is up for anything. Oh man. Chris said he took the afternoon off yesterday for a pizza with Belle, and I felt bad for not working. I think, I completely understand that because I had a day off yesterday from work, and I struggled all day. Even though I was editing and stuff, I felt like I should be listing, and it's hard. But I think you really have to give yourself that time because if you don't, then you're just going to burn yourself out.
Definitely. I think if you know that if you set your goals for the week or whatever it was, because this is the good thing with reselling, you know, if you say this week I need to get 30 items listed, that's it, that's all I need to do this week. If you want to work really hard on Monday and Tuesday and get all them listed and then schedule them to go out, you've done your work for the week, you know, however you want to schedule it. And if you know that you've done them, you know, you kind of can treat yourself a bit. That's how I've started to do when I went out the other week to watch Frozen and go out for a meal with my partner. I felt fine. I was absolutely fine. I loved life because it was just like, I know I've done all my work for the week. So it's quite nice to relax.
I think you have to reward yourself for those achievements, because otherwise you're just going to keep going. How much time would you say you spend recording expenses and tracking inventory, and how important is it to your model?
Now I've got a spreadsheet. I don't know whether people have seen that video. I brought out a spreadsheet quite recently, which I've used literally since day one. Even when I was doing my own clothes, I was tracking them in there, so I could say how much I paid for them, even though I paid nothing for them, but then how much I made and all that sort of stuff. So I put everything in my spreadsheet. Now it doesn't take me that long anymore because I'm used to it. I've been doing it for over a year, so it's just a habit thing. It probably takes me a minute per item to sort of pop it in my spreadsheet and whatever. So if I've got 50 items, it would take me 50 minutes, you know. So it kind of sounds like a long time, but it's an item per minute. For you.
Yeah. And I think everyone's got their own little system, whether it be, you know, a spreadsheet or they track what they spend in a week and divide it. But I think as long as you have something that at least gives you an indication, that's a good start. Tommy, asking for a different friend, would you ever leave your partner in the UK and come visit the States for a few years? Jeez.
No. I'll bring him with me, Tommy.
Sorry, Tommy, looks like you're out of luck. Question, Louise, favorite food?
No idea. Anything carbs, pasta, rice, bread, potatoes. Anything with that in it, I'm happy with. Just nothing spicy. Just too spicy.
Yeah, I'm way too white for spicy. Andrew says he's first in line, and he said besides Chris is lovely. Game on Couple just gave a huge clap. King of Hearts is life.
It's amazing.
I'm going to try and catch up with the cat. What? Try and catch up with the chat again. Let's see if we can get to the end. Favorite type of tea and how many cups a day? I think that's a bit of a jab at the English, but you can answer it if you'd like.
Just normal English breakfast tea, just standard normal tea. Probably I would like to drink about 5 or 6, maybe something like that. But I get so busy. I ended up drinking 1 for breakfast and then like a 2 or 3 in the evening. So I'd always drink loads in the evening. Not so much during the day. Go straight through, yeah. So
especially when you're camping. Yeah, keep out for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Bumcrack's dropped your channel link in. So if you guys haven't seen Louise's channel, please head over there. Make sure you subscribe to her channel because she's got some awesome information. And yeah, really growing and putting out some great content. So definitely check her out. Links right there. So head over there. It's going to be a good journey to watch you put out some more stuff. So it looks like there's some byplay in the chat as well, but we'll just leave that alone at the moment. So someone did ask, do you work out? So you said that you'd been to the gym this morning. You do that every day?
Yeah, I go Monday to Friday. I'll go at sort of 6:30 in the morning. I do that for about an hour or 2, and then yeah, so that's what I do.
Do you find that is a bit of like a de-stress for you, or is that just something that's part of your routine now?
I've been doing it for a year. I mean, again, I wanted to exercise and get fitter and all that sort of stuff while I was teaching, but never got to do that again at the time. But again, the great thing about reselling is I can go to the gym whenever I want to go to the gym. And it's kind of just, it's helped my confidence a lot as well. You know, I was never big, you know, I've never been big, but I've gotten fitter. And if anyone knows, when you go to a charity shop or whatever, op shop, whatever, you've got loads of clothes draped over your arm, you need some muscles of some sort. And you need to be fit to do all that. So yeah, it's definitely helped in that aspect as well. So
that's why I throw them all on Jazz, because I can't handle it. So, she's the guns of the operation. Is Louise a saver or a spender? That's a good question. Do you save or do you spend?
I'm quite good with money. Funny enough, since starting reselling, I've been a massive spender, especially again since doing Amazon, because I wanted to, like with eBay, the more listings you have, the more you sell. So with Amazon, I wanted to just buy loads and loads of stuff to put onto Amazon. So I spent a lot. But I've always been good with money. Other than that, people sort of give me money to sort of save it for them, so they don't sort of see it and whatever. So I've always been quite good with money with that as well.
I don't think that's what you were saying, Louise, but Money Mental somehow tricked that back onto you somehow. So we've got about 4 minutes. Got about 4 minutes left. If anyone has any last-minute questions, my arms are like wet noodles. What? Please drop them in the chat. It's been great to find a bit more about you, and I really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to come and spend with us. So thanks heaps for that.
Thank you.
What is the last thing you bought for yourself that isn't reseller related? That's a cool question.
I really don't know. I don't, you know what? It's crazy, isn't it? I'm sure a lot of people do this. You don't buy stuff for yourself, even clothes. You know, I will wear, you know, supermarket clothes. I've got so many branded, fancy £100 dresses in here, but I'll wear a £20 dress. Do you know what I mean? It's so weird. I just don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably a chocolate bar or something.
Do you find that you source a lot of your personal clothes from op shops now as well? Like, do you find that you don't buy a lot of, what do they call it? High street stuff? Is that what they call it over there?
Yeah, or just retail stuff, whatever. Yeah, but when you go in and you think, oh my God, that's so expensive. I can pick that up for £3. You just can't get your head around it now. And that's the thing with me. I just can't spend that much.
Yeah. I find I'm always on the lookout for stuff, but I can't always find what I want. So. But a lot of my recent purchases have been off other resellers, so I think that's
pretty cool.
Here we go. Question: top 10 reselling inspirations. So obviously everyone's aware of like Nick and Andrew and stuff. So who were you sort of looking towards when you first started?
The person who I was actually following their journey the most is Mel from Sparrow's End, because she did clothing. She was also a teacher. And she doesn't talk about that too much now in her videos and stuff. But when I was starting reselling, I was following her journey a lot, because I was trying to look and kind of say, well, that sounds good. You know, she's in my same shoes. And go from there, but yeah, Andrew's putting their Sparrow's End, I reckon, because when I started doing YouTube and stuff like that, people kept comparing me to her, which is kind of like a nice thing, because you think, oh, you know, you can see that similarity, but at the same time you kind of want to be like, I am my own person in that sort of way.
Yeah.
So it's quite difficult actually to try and do something a little different, but you're always going to be compared to somebody or similar to someone. Oh, you did that because they did that or whatever. But she was my inspiration to begin with, and then obviously everyone else then just crept up. All this massive community has been great. So
Tommy's commenting on the thumping in the background. He's asking you armed robbery, or are you going to let Andrew out of the basement sometime soon, or what's going on there?
He's kicking off. It's been nearly an hour, so he's kicking off. He's not breathing there.
It hasn't got his cider, so he's not having a good time. Question: what got you started in reselling? Oh yeah, so you sort of talked about that at the start. You wanted a bit of a change from what you were doing, so yeah, that's sort of about start. If you did miss any of the live, you can always watch it back, because Louise did talk a little bit about that at the start. So yeah, we're pretty much at the hour mark now. So I guess unless anyone has any, if anyone has any last minute questions, please drop them in the chat. Otherwise, I'd just like to personally thank Louise for coming along. Thanks for everyone being in the chat. Really appreciate it. Last little drop, if you haven't seen Louise, please make sure you head over to her channel. Some great content, as I said before, and really personal as well. Jody, thank you so much for the $2. That's amazing. I really appreciate the super chat. Thanks for that. Yeah, I don't expect that at all. So thank you very much. Jazz got one more last question. Do you listen to music as you work, podcasts, working hangouts?
I try not to listen to working hangouts. So much on YouTube. You know, I assume that's what you mean, because they massively distract me because I want to kind of just start to jump in the chat and anything like that. So I leave them alone now. I don't really listen to podcasts either. I like something a bit more upbeat. Currently, just on repeat is the Frozen soundtrack, the Frozen 2 soundtrack. I've literally genuinely got that on repeat all the time. That's all I listen to at the moment, and I'm starting to creep in the Christmas music as well now. So that's kind of what I do. Just listen, upbeat music.
Christmas music drives me insane because I used to work in retail, so I can't handle it.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll say goodbye to all the chat, and thanks for coming along. We really appreciate it. Like I said, head over to Louise's channel, KLC_reselling. Leave her a sub and a thumbs up. Leave her some comments and show you some support. So thanks, everyone. We'll leave it here tonight, and we'll catch you next time on This Is Your Reselling Life. Thanks, Louise.
Thank you very much.